What it do, what it do, what it does, what it does. Welcome back to Rise Reacts. So check it, right? So I seen this video online talking about like when being an informant goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, if y'all know me, if y'all been watching the channel for a little bit, y'all know I do not rock with police in any type of shape, way, or form, unless you know it's some people out here messing with kids or old folks or little stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't really rock with the police at all. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
A Florida State University graduate by the name of Rachel Morningstar Hoffman was placed under drug court supervision after officers found cannabis.
She looked like a junkie. I ain't gonna lie. She kind of looked like a junkie, bro. You feel me? She out of there.
Cannabis in her possession during a traffic stop on February the 22nd of 2007. In April of the following year, Tallahassee police conducted a search of the young woman's apartment, where they discovered more cannabis, as well as 4 ecstasy pills. She consequently faced criminal charges, but the authorities...
That's not even too bad. She had some weed and 4 pills on her, bro. All right, she might not be a junkie. She just could be a girl that just like to have fun. I'm sorry for passing that type of judgment, bro. Weed and 4 ecstasy pills, bro. That's not nothing, bro.
Authorities gave her the opportunity to serve as a police informant to avoid a possible...
Look, I'm talking too much. Hold on. What the hell he saying?
As well as 4 ecstasy pills. She consequently faced criminal charges, but the authorities gave her the opportunity to serve as a police informant to avoid...
Okay. So 2007, weed was no... Right now it's 2023. Weed legal damn near everywhere. And even if it's not legal in a particular state, if you get caught with some weed, bro, you got to get caught with a lot of it for them to even really trip about it. So 2007, she got caught with some weed. I guess it all depends on how much and what state she was in. But the 4 X pills, all right, she probably could have faced a couple of years, maybe. She probably could have faced a couple of years. All right. I'm just trying to put myself in a mindset of them. You feel me?
Avoid a possible prison sentence. Hoffman agreed, and she was subsequently tasked with obtaining 1,500 ecstasy pills, 2 ounces of cocaine, and 2 handguns, which violated department policy, with $13,000 in a buy-bust operation. Damn. On the day of the sting, Hoffman went to the agreed-upon location to meet with a pair of suspects, with 2 narcotics officers monitoring her movements. However, the dealers made a sudden change to the location of the buy. Hoffman was urged not to follow them, but technical issues with the police's equipment prevented her from receiving those instructions. The handlers lost track of her when she reportedly left with the 2 suspects in a stolen BMW. She was then gunned down by the dealers with one of the firearms she was supposed to purchase. In the aftermath, the Tallahassee Police Department came under fire for sending Hoffman out.
Damn! So, she was there to set them up. They end up switching locations. They couldn't get... The police couldn't... I guess their transmitters wasn't working. They couldn't call her on her cell phone and tell her, look, don't go. When she got to the other location, the 2 dudes smoked her ass. Damn. Yeah, bro. This is why the police suck, bro.
Into the field, despite not having any undercover training or knowledge of either cocaine or guns. The officers involved were suspended with pay, and the victim's family filed a wrongful death suit against the city, which was ultimately settled for a reported $2.6 million.
Okay. 2.6 million? That's worth a life. I'm sure her family probably good off of that. What? 2.6? Damn.
On December the 17th of 2009, what would have been Hoffman's 25th birthday, the 2 suspects identified as Danilo R. Bradshaw and Andrea Jabbar Green were found guilty of murder. Both.
No, they did that to a white girl, man. Look, it don't matter what race. But however, I will mention this, and I feel like I got the right to say this because I'm black. Bro, black on black crime, bro. It's a chance you get away with it, bro. You did that to a white girl. They was gonna find them. They was gonna find them. It don't matter how long it took. They was gonna find their asses and throw them under the dirt. And I'm pretty sure they got beat up before they went to the jail cell. Everybody was wrong in this situation. They definitely should not have did that to that young girl. But at the same time, they knew what was about to happen to their asses. They was fooling.
Life sentences. In May of 2009, the Florida State Senate passed new legislation dubbed Rachel's Law, which introduced new requirements for law enforcement agencies recruiting confidential informants.
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing, smart automations, patching, software deployment, script.
Number 6. Victor Castro Martinez.
Hold on, is this like a countdown?
25-year-old Victor Castro Martinez, an admitted member of the international gang known as MS-13, agreed to cooperate with the police in 2018 as part of a larger investigation into the notorious group.
Bro, Victor Martinez, let me tell you something, man. Hispanics don't play that. Hispanics don't play that. So let me just guess what's about to happen before it even happened. Some people in his gang suspected that he was on something fishy and they handled it. I'm just throwing it out there. I could be totally wrong, but I know Hispanics don't play that whatsoever.
On the evening of June the 6th, Martinez informed his police contact that he was meeting with other MS-13 members at 7600 Long Drive near Cullinan Park in Houston, Texas. The following morning, the informant's mutilated body was found in the park, with the police's audio recording device still in his pocket. It was determined that he'd perished within 30 minutes of sending his final text message to his handler. During the ensuing homicide investigation, it emerged that Martinez had been ambushed by at least 7 gang members identified as Wilson Jose Ventura Meja, Jimmy Villalobos Gomez, Angel Miguel Aguilar Ochoa, Walter Antonia Chiques Garcia, Marlon Miranda Moran.
Woo! Look at his face, boy! Look at him, bro. He ain't playing no games, bro. He ain't playing no games, bro. He laying stuff down. He putting things in the dirt. Look at his face. Look at his face. That's crazy.
Franklin Trejo Chavarria and Carlos Elias Enriquez Torres. The assailants allegedly
it was a girl in there. It was a girl. Bro, first of all, let's go through all these people's faces real quick, bro. First dude, Wilson look like he about, obviously all of them about it. The only ones that don't look like they about it is my man's right here and my man's right here with the sweaty face. Now the sweaty face dude look like he gonna be another informant, bro. You can tell he been crying. But this girl is just as menacing as this dude right next to her, bro. She just looking straight up like, yeah, we had to do that to him. It was no option. Damn.
Turns butchering the victim with a machete because of his ties to the authorities. They were each indicted on federal charges in connection to the incident, faced with the possibility of receiving the death penalty.
Smoke.
Number 5. Paella Tassini.
Is this another?
22-year-old Danny Geist Jr. was the victim of a fatal gang-related shooting on September the 27th of 2000. He was reportedly gunned down as he sat in a brown Datsun vehicle in Pittsburgh, California. Although the case went cold for several years thereafter, the police broke new ground in the investigation after conducting an interview with a man believed to have been a witness to the shooting. In 2019, a 46-year-old Elk Grove resident named Paella Tassini was asked to provide a statement in support of the authorities' efforts to identify Geist's killer. Tassini obliged, but in doing so inadvertently implicated himself in the crime. The man was said to have given investigators a blow-by-blow account of the situation leading up to the shooting. He'd been inside the car with the man who ultimately executed Geist. The latter had allegedly insulted the shooter and was involved with a drug ring with which the occupants of Tassini's vehicle had been feuding. During his 2019 interview with police, Tassini eventually confessed to ordering Geis's murder himself. Also admitted to shooting and wounding someone who'd thrown rocks in his car 8 months earlier. His statements were subsequently used as evidence against him in court when he was charged in connection to the cold case homicide, as well as the second non-fatal shooting. In November of 2022, Tassini was convicted of murder despite not personally firing the shots that resulted in Geis's death. Number 4. Shelly Hilliard.
Shelly.
In October of 2011, the police in Madison Heights, Michigan were called to a local...
That's right up the street from the crib. That's right up the street from the crib.
Called Motel 6, where 19-year-old Shelly Hilliard and a male companion were found to be in possession of marijuana. Officers Chad Wallowich and David Kohler threatened Hilliard and her friend Michael Slaughter with jail time unless they cooperated with them in their efforts to identify their dealer. Hilliard called the individual who'd supplied them the drugs Kasim Red Rakib and asked him to come to the Motel 6. When Rakib did so, he was ambushed by the police, who took him and his associate, Marquita Clark, into custody on charges of possession with intent to distribute. In the early hours of the morning on October the 23rd, Rakib and an individual named James Matthews lured Hilliard to a house in the 900 block of Longfellow Street in Detroit, under the pretense that one of them was in the crib, and
I know exactly where Longfellow is at. I just want to make sure I got this.
Asked him to come to the Motel 6. When Rakib did so, he was ambushed by the police, who took him and his associate, Marquita Clark, into custody on charges of possession with intent to distribute. In the early hours of the morning on October the 23rd, Rakib and an individual named James Matthews lured Hilliard to a house in the 900 block of Longfellow Street in Detroit, under the pretense that one of them was interested in going on a date with her. Upon her arrival at the address, Hilliard became concerned.
Who is this? Bro, this is the whole dude. What is it?
Both men waiting for her and asked her taxi driver to stay on a phone call with her to make sure she was all right. Shortly thereafter, the cabbie reportedly heard her shout, "No!" after which the call went dead. Court records indicated that Rakib and Matthews proceeded to brutally assault Hilliard for acting as a police informant, which had allegedly been revealed to them by officers Wallowich and Kohler. Hilliard eventually succumbed to her severe beating injuries, at which point her killers dismembered her corpse and scattered her body parts at various locations around Detroit.
That's crazy.
Although both men were eventually arrested, convicted, and sentenced in connection to Hilliard's slaying, the victim's mother filed a lawsuit against the Madison Heights Police Department for their alleged role in her death. The woman claimed that the officers had coerced her daughter into serving as an informant and had given Rakib enough information while he was in custody to seek revenge against the young woman for doing so. In October of 2017, the two sides reportedly reached a settlement, awarding Hilliard's mother a $1 million payout.
Oh, I know she mad. The first lady got 2.6. First lady got 2.6. She only got $1 million. Madison Heights a pretty small town, man, but damn. That's crazy.
Number 3. Christopher Dean. In October of 2016, 33-year-old Christopher Dean was summoned to the Atlanta home of brothers Xavier and Orlando Gibson,
Oh my
where he
God. Bro, this lineup looks so menacing, bro. All of them got dreads except for my man's right here at the end who's growing his hair out to get dreads. This guy looked like he had a nappy fro, but I'll give him another 6 more months, and guess what? He was going to have dreads as well. Stay away from these folks with dreads, man. I ain't going to say, nah, bro, nah. Look, I'm off for shroom, bro. Don't believe what I just said, bro. I know some great people with dreads, bro. It's just these particular individuals, just so happen they got dreads, bro. They just so happen to get dreads. But hey, I take back that last comment. Everybody with dreads are not bad, bro. But you got to be able to have them eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to differentiate which dreadhead people are good and which dreadhead people are bad. These are the bad ones. I'm just saying.
Reportedly expected to complete a drug transaction. Instead, Dean was brutally attacked by a group of 5 local gangsters who discovered that the man had once served as a police witness in California. The assailants used a 2x4 and a crowbar to beat the victim to a bloody pulp
Damn.
before abusing him with a handle-like object and inflicting burns on his body.
Oh.
It was only then that they executed him by way of 2 gunshots to the back of the head. Following the gruesome killing, which was a reported effort to show other gang members that any involvement with the police would not be tolerated, Dean's mutilated body was shoved into the trunk of his car. The gangsters parked the vehicle in the lot at Hamilton E. Holmes subway station, where it was eventually discovered by the authorities. In the wake of the murder, Atlanta police arrested Christopher Lockett, Jasper Green, Joshua Rooks, Quartez Clark, and Xavier
Hold on, bro. Was this the dude with the fro the last time? Bro, how did I know he was gonna get dreads, bro? Cause the last picture, hold on. We gotta take it back to the last picture. The last picture, it was only 3 dudes with dreads. Hold on, we gotta figure that out. Alright. Bro, hold on. So the dark-skinned cat that had the fro, he ended up getting dreads later on, bro. Because I think this dude still. Oh my God, bro! How did I know that was gonna happen? How did I know that was gonna happen, bro? My man's was growing his hair out to get the dreads, bro. I was wrong about this young man though. He did not continue to grow his hair out to get dreads, bro. But 4 out of the 5 people end up getting dreads. That's crazy.
Clark and Xavier Gibson, all belonging to the group known as the Gangster Disciples.
GD.
During the case's court proceedings, prosecutors alleged that none of the suspects had expressed even an iota of remorse for their heinous actions. It also emerged that leading up to the night of the incident, Dean had been attempting to clean up his act and believed that he'd be able to repent of his life of crime following one final drug deal. He was survived by 2 young sons. Each of the defendants were ultimately given life sentences for the crime.
Hey, it's Carl. Be sure to
Who the hell is Carl? Is this the narrator?
subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section
Okay.
below, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get your video going next.
Number 2.
My boy look creepy as hell. He creepy as hell.
Whitey Bulger. For many years, started in 1975, infamous Boston mobster Whitey Bulger served as an informant for the FBI, but the specific details regarding the manner of his recruitment is a widely debated topic. According to official reports on the matter, the Winter Hill gang boss agreed to give authorities information about the Patriarca crime family, his rivals based out of Boston and Providence, Rhode Island, although Bulger himself publicly denied it. In exchange for the inside information, the Winter Hill gang was effectively given immunity and allowed to conduct their criminal enterprise without fear of legal repercussions. It was also reported that Bulger's FBI...
That's how you do it, bro. If you got to do dirt, you do dirt with the police. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to take it back a little bit.
Although Bulger himself publicly denied it. In exchange for the inside information, the Winter Hill gang was effectively given immunity and allowed to conduct their criminal enterprise without fear of legal repercussions. It was also reported that Bulger's FBI handler, John Connolly, would give him valuable information about his competitors as part of their covert partnership. In 1988, the Boston Globe's so-called Spotlight team released a story highlighting Bulger's informant status and how he'd been unable to continue committing crimes for years because of his cooperation with federal authorities. During the 1990s, media reports began to trickle out implicating various federal, state, and local officials with ties to Bulger in instances of criminal activity. The notorious gangster eventually became an FBI fugitive and by the turn of the 21st century was considered the most wanted man in the world besides Osama bin Laden. He and his longtime girlfriend were finally apprehended at an apartment complex in Santa Monica, California in the summer of 2011. Bulger was given a pair of life terms, but only 5 years into his sentence, he was brutally beaten to death by fellow inmates after being transferred to the United States Penitentiary, Hazleton, near Brewston Mills, West Virginia. In December of 2022, an official U.S. Department of Justice inquiry into Bulger's death determined that it had been precipitated by bureaucratic incompetence and serious job performance failures on the part of prison officials. Number 1. Susan Smith.
Susan!
In 1987, an FBI agent arrived in Pikeville, Kentucky on his first assignment, aimed at tracking down...
Boy, what kind of... Is this Kentucky? Boy, that look crazy as hell. Look like they just surrounded by mountains. It's just a city carved out in the mountains. That's crazy.
And an ex-convict and bank robber named Carl Edward Cat Eyes Lockhart. A sheriff's deputy suggested that the agent, Mark Putnam, get in contact with a local woman by the name of Susan Smith. The latter subsequently served as Putnam's confidential informant, with the two regularly meeting to exchange information about Lockhart's criminal activities. By December, they'd gathered enough evidence to sentence Lockhart to 57 years in prison for robbery. Smith was reportedly compensated with a cash reward of $5,000. In the months that followed, Putnam and Smith eventually developed an intimate relationship with one another. The agent, who was married at the time, subsequently became concerned that his secret involvement with his former informant might prove detrimental to his career, and he thus requested to be transferred to Florida. The situation was further complicated, however, when Smith revealed that she was pregnant with Putnam's baby. The latter suggested that he and his wife could adopt the child, but Smith insisted that they raise it together. Then, on June the 8th of 1989, Putnam and Smith got into a heated argument that ultimately turned physical. The man fatally strangled his lover and dumped her body along an old coal mining road. He and his family moved to Florida, and Smith's murder remained unsolved until the following year, when suspicions began to fall on her former FBI handler. Upon being questioned, Putnam confessed and was later sentenced to 16 years in prison as the first FBI agent to be convicted of murder. The man was released in 2000 at the age of 41, at which point he moved to Georgia, where he remarried and began work as a personal trainer.
Hold on, bro. How come he only got 16 years? That's crazy. Everybody, bro, that's how you know the government be playing favorites, bro. Bro, this is why I say don't work with the police, man. The police gonna have you messed up each and every time. We just witness or just watch like 7 different scenarios or different stories in which the police done played with somebody's life, man. They got them killed, man. That's messed up, bro. That's all the way messed up, man. Forget the police. With that being said, bro, man, make sure y'all like, subscribe, drop a comment in the comment section below. And I'm on y'all in a little bit, man. Peace.